Hey, it's me, the Big Dick Magicat, and today we're looking at my top 10 best games of all time ever. And yes, indeed, I have played every single game in existence, and therefore know which exact games are the best. So don't ask me where's this game and where's that game. They're not on the list, okay? Okay, let's begin with number 10, World Warcraft. So I started playing this in like 2012. So nostalgia, definitely one of the main reasons why this is on this list. But the game world is huge, it has plenty of classes to try out, it's fun with friends, it's good, I think. But would I recommend playing it? Not right now in its current state, because right now it kind of sucks. I would wait for the next expansion and see if it's any good and then make that decision. So that's number 10. Number 9, Elderscrolls V Skyrim. So this game has bad combat, but everything else is pretty good, except the tiny cities. They suck, they should be so much bigger. There's like 5 buildings per city. It's dumb. But the world is immersive, it has good music, it always gets me peaceful. And this is where Magicat came from. I made a wizard cat and of course I named him Magicat, because that's clever. The game is also fun with mods. Like there's mods for whole new continents, there's mods for fun interesting quests, there's mods for new spells and abilities, and there's nude mods. So if you want to see cat dicks, there you go. So would I recommend Skyrim? I think it's aged pretty well, despite the combat and the cities, but it's still fun. So yes, I would recommend it. Number 8, Medieval. So this game also has pretty bad combat. It's really stupid that they didn't update the combat. I mean, it's from the fucking 90s. Like, come on, of course it's gonna be outdated in these days. But nostalgia? This game was nostalgia dick sucking. Because I played Medieval Resurrection in when I was like 10 years old. It was one of the first games I played ever. So of course, it's gonna be on this list. It has great atmosphere, great music, probably my favorite video game soundtrack of all time. Even if the combat isn't that fun, the levels themselves are fun. But I'm not sure if I would recommend this game. If you think it looks good and fun to play, then it probably is. But if it doesn't, it probably isn't. Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 2. Another open world game. And this one is, again, immersive. It's fun to mess around with strangers, it's fun to kill strangers. It has a good story, good protagonist, Arthur Morgan, and the game itself is so fucking well detailed. Like, I heard that horse balls shrink in the cold in this game. I mean, it doesn't really make the game better, but at the same time, little details like that are appreciated. But I think the missions are kind of outdated in some ways. They're just too restrictive. Same with the combat. It's fun to shoot people, sure, but that's about it. It's not very interesting. And moving in this game, especially in combat, can be kind of clunky. So, it could be better, but I still love the game. And I definitely would recommend it, especially if you like stories in video games. Number 6, Dark Souls 3. So this game has fucking amazing boss fights. The best boss fights in any game ever, as far as I'm concerned. And those boss fights have great music and great atmosphere. If only the rest of the game would have that atmosphere as well. The levels are pretty good, but not great. And the world design is a bit too linear. But this game has fucking amazing replay value. And it's because of the weapon variety, the boss fights, the challenge runs, all that good stuff. And this game has one amazing DLC and one pretty good DLC. Ashes of Ariandel, it's a bit overpriced, but the content is pretty good. The Ringed City, however, is great. It has 3 amazing bosses and 2 good areas. So would I recommend this game? Absolutely yes. I think it's a great starting point if you want to get into the Soulspawn series. Number 5, Dark Souls. Dark Souls 1, however, doesn't have amazing bosses, except for a few, but it has the atmosphere outside of the bosses, and that matters more to me. It has great world design, and again it has good replay value, and a good DLC which has most of the good bosses. It also has great lore if you're into that. I'm personally not really. but I would recommend Dark Souls as well. I think it's as good of a starting point into the Souls series as Dark Souls 3 is. So yeah, good stuff. Number 4, Witcher 3. This is the best open world game I've ever played. It has amazing quests. That's the biggest strength of this game. Like, not just the main missions are great, but even the side quests are amazing. It has great characters, it looks pretty, it has, again, great details, and 2 great DLCs. Both Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone are just fucking incredible. They're among the best DLCs of all time. Now, the biggest weakness of this game is the combat. It's not terrible, but it's not really fun. At least for me. But I would still recommend this game, unless combat is like the most important thing about video games to you. Number 3, Sekiro. Sekiro, however, has the best combat system in any game ever. It's hard to master, but it looks flashy, no matter what you do. And this game has great areas, even better than in Dark Souls 1. If you don't believe me, watch my top 20 Soulsborne areas video. A lot of those areas were from Sekiro. The game also has fun bosses. They're not quite as fun as in Dark Souls 3, but they're definitely better than in Dark Souls 1. The music also isn't quite as good as in Dark Souls 3, but the atmosphere is quite good. And of course, this game has the best DLC out of all the Souls games. Right? Right? FromSoft, please. But anyway, I would recommend Sekiro for sure. Also, am I pronouncing it right? I used to say Sekiro, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you say it. Number 2, Bloodborne. Again, great combat, great atmosphere, good music, good bosses, amazing DLC. The best DLC of all time, if you ask me. Great areas. Again, just look at my top 20 Soulsborne areas video. Like half of those areas were from Bloodborne. Replay value in this game is insanely good again, because each weapon completely changes the combat. Like, I've replayed the game with pretty much every weapon in the game. That's how good it is. And I would say that this is the best game on this list, but it doesn't have quite as much nostalgia factors as my number 1 game. So let's see what number 1 is. Number 1, Spore. Okay, let me list all the reasons why this is number 1. Nostalgia. 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 And decent main game. And amazing expansion pack. That's really why this is on this list. The expansion pack. Galactic Adventures. It lets you create your own levels, which is the most fun I've ever had in a game. And I did it a lot as a kid. And it sparked this desire in me to be creative, to create things. I started writing stories, for example. I started making YouTube videos too. And I think I have to thank Spore for that. So that's why it's my number 1 game. Let me know what's yours, and I guess that's it. See ya!